So what Pam is going to be talking about is how to create that online customer journey. Now, this is a big subject. There are lots of different components, and we're not expecting you to know everything. And some people might think, oh my God, that's so much, I'm never going to have that. Don't worry, just take one step at a time. You don't actually, Pam is like a maniac at creating new resources, but remember, that's part of Pam's business. So you don't have to go and create like 20 different documents. Just do one, focus exactly on what we talked about today. Think about how can you attract those customers, showing that you understand them. And now Pam is going to come in and share a little bit about her journey. What maybe were a couple of the challenges before Pam started to generate leads online, so that she can, kind of show that, actually with a couple of small tweaks, you absolutely can make a big difference in your marketing and sales. So Pam, if you want to jump on and take over your slides. Actually, let me put that there first, because you've got a lot to share today. So I'm just going to have you share a little bit about your journey first, if you don't mind. Just share a little bit about that. Thank you.
So I think when I first started my business 3 years ago, I started it part-time. I've got a background in corporate coaching and change management, and I've done training as well. So when I came into coaching, I thought I had to start everything from scratch, and I didn't really think about using my previous experience, as Suzanne had mentioned earlier. So I was desperately trying to find a niche and trying to find people that I could target. And I really, oddly enough, went into divorce coaching because I've been divorced twice. And I thought, hey, what am I really good at? I'm good at divorcing. I'm married third time successfully, by the way. So, yeah, I went into divorce coaching, and I guess, well, first of all, I guess I started trying to be a coach to everyone, and realised that just wasn't, it was like throwing spaghetti at the wall and nothing sticking, because I didn't know who my ideal customer was. I didn't know what their pain points was, and you can't be everything to everyone as much as you think that's going to bring you more business. So yeah, I niched down into divorce coaching, which actually I felt like it was a success, because I suddenly got a load of people who were interested in speaking to me. I got lots of engagement on Facebook, lots of likes, and people really loving my posts, but no one was actually buying anything, and people really wanted my time. And I used to offer a free 1 hour clarity call. And all I was doing all these discovery calls, giving away my time for free, feeling really good that I was helping people, and that people really coming to me and listening and saying thank you, and feeling really appreciated, and felt like I was leaving an impact, but making absolutely no money. And then I met Suzanne and yeah, everything changed, like literally everything. So I learned about sales funnels. I learned that actually I needed to create some kind of low cost, and I used to have lots of freebies, but I didn't have any kind of low cost offers. It was just a lot of freebies, or you'd come in and do some one-to-one coaching at £150 an hour. And there was nothing in between that was really helping people, enticing people to join. And I had an opt-in for a monthly newsletter, which was just, hey, join my monthly newsletter, which you may or may not know is just not a good way to get people to subscribe. So of course I had a very low email list. I had unengaged followers on Facebook, and I wasn't using my LinkedIn profile professionally. And then after I started working with Suzanne, I really started to work out actually what was I good at, and did I actually have experience in. And I had all this change management expertise, and I thought, actually I've got business experience. I've set up two businesses. One was an online business. I was selling these printables at a fairly low cost, and that was generating some income. Still not a lot, because I didn't really understand how to market myself. And I guess I didn't have that follow-up process, which was, once I did have a customer who signed up to a printable, I didn't understand how to nurture that customer with an email sequence. So I think the other thing I learned was about how to create copy. So I am a queen at creating workbooks and templates. I'm very creative. I could spend, my whole life, that could be my full-time job, and I'd be a really happy person creating templates. But again, that's not going to make me that much money. So I guess it was trying to look at my business from a holistic point of view, because when you are a business owner, you are so focused on being the admin person, being the finance officer, being the sales and exec person, being the brand manager, and you're trying to do everything all by yourself, and it's really bloody hard. And I think it was only when Suzanne helped me kind of lift me out of what I was doing and said, hang on, let's just look at everything end to end. What are you actually providing? What are you delivering? So I guess that was a little bit about my journey, and maybe I'll just, if we move on to the next slide, I can just share how I now approach the kind of customer journey and the sales journey for a new offer. So I think on this bottom left hand side is where everything starts, and we've talked about this a lot today. Is really understanding who your ideal customer is and what their pain points are. So I now target small business owners and people who are looking to leave their 9-to-5 and start a new online business. So it's working out what are the things they're struggling with. And because I've started 2 businesses, I know what those pain points are. I've been through them, and I know how hard it is to create your brand, because I'm not a designer, I'm not from a sales and marketing background. I didn't know anything about email marketing. So it was working out what those pain points were, what mistakes people have made, and I'd made loads of mistakes, so I knew about the highs and lows of setting up a business, and I knew how frustrating it was to kind of get over the technology, get over your fear of putting videos out there and not feeling stupid by the content you created, and not feeling despondent when you weren't getting any likes or engagement. And it's that moment where I launched a new course, for example, and no one bought it, and I was so upset because I spent like about 2 months creating this course, and the reason why no one was buying it was because it wasn't actually talking to anyone in particular. I started off doing a lot of work on mindset, because I believe whatever business you're in, if you're trying to acquire customers, it's about changing their mindset and helping them understand what their limiting beliefs are. And I was so passionate about that. And I thought, if I could create this course and help them to get out of their fear zone and, move into this comfort zone and growth zone, that, oh my God, everything would be wonderful, like it had happened for me. But it wasn't selling. So now I've got my new niche and I understand the pain point. It's so much easier. I mean, 10 times easier now to create content. In fact, I can just kind of clone a lot of my posts and my email sequences, because it's so easy to know those pain points now. So this top half of the table is about what's the customer process, as in what do they see from a marketing through to nurturing phase. And then the internal process is what we as a business owner then have to do. So the first step was defining what my customer avatar was and understanding those pain points. And then from a marketing perspective, where are customers going then to find me? So either they would find me through a sponsored post or an organic post if they were following me on any of my social media. They probably wouldn't find me on Google search because I wasn't ranking in any kind of SEO. I'm still not, because I still haven't figured out SEO. One day I will. They might find me on my website, and then I've got blogs that I put out as well. They might have heard of me from word of mouth. But what you'll see in red here is all the time when you're showing yourself to a potential customer, you're always talking to their pain points. And then from a marketing perspective internally, and I'll share some of my pages with you as well, but from an internal perspective, it's about how you're talking to those pain points through your social media posts and the language that you're using. And I guess another thing that Suzanne really taught me was about sharing your offers on your LinkedIn banners and on your Facebook banners. So really creating an enticing offer, something that's really going to wow your customers, and they'll go, oh, that's for free, or oh, you've got a mini course and I get all that value for little to nothing. But making those, marketing yourself in your email signatures, in your banners, in your posts, and posting consistently on a daily basis, if not 2 or 3 times a day if you have time. is having really beautifully crafted landing pages that are talking to those pain points. And as Suzanne mentioned earlier, is having those testimonials or case studies where you've got pictures of real people who you have either had some experience with coaching or whatever your services are. So somebody who's consumed your services. So the initial phase, the initial part where a customer would find you would be on one of these kind of marketing platforms. And then hopefully they'll then click through, because you're talking to those pain points, they'll click through to a landing page. And a landing page is just, you know, might be a blog page, it might be a website, but it'd be something that would, where they would find out more about what you're selling. So whether it's a service or a product, or a workshop or a webinar, whatever that is. Again, that should all be talking to your pain points. You should have your client testimonials on there, and there'll be some further details on there in terms of your price points. And then from an internal perspective, you would then, that would be where you would showcase your free offer or your low cost magnet. And I'll share with you some of the workbooks on my landing pages that I share. And then really providing the detail in terms of, this is your sales page effectively, where you can really showcase what you do as a business owner and how that's going to really help that customer or potential customer. And then your final sale page, and this might be combined depending on which platform you use, but I use a platform called Kajabi, and the sale page would only come once somebody said yes on the landing page, I want to know more. And then this checkout page would come, which would again show the price, again have some testimonials, and again be talking to those pain points. And that's where you would then sell some of the benefits. So I think what I've learned is not to have the features and benefits at the start, because people aren't interested in, as Suzanne's always told me, people aren't really interested in the features and benefits as much as they are about you helping them with their specific pain point and that kind of emotional connection that you're trying to make. And then from an internal perspective, it would be then, once they've clicked yes and they've purchased or they've signed up, you've then got their email address, and that is where the magic really happens, because you can then put them on an automated sales process where you offer them a welcome sequence email, so that you know, it's a really good chance to either start with a video, where you're saying welcome, so great to have you on board, and then you just create one video, and you can use this for all of your customers that you sign up to, whatever they sign up to. That then follows up with an email sequence, and again something that Suzanne taught me, and I'll share the email sequences I have, which is you offer value constantly, and an email is it's not a privilege to be in someone's email box. I always say you have to deserve to be in somebody's inbox, so you have to be offering value, and it's not your opportunity to just constantly sell to that person, because they're just going to unsubscribe straight away. So it's working out what value you can add. And when you think this might be a lot of work, and it is initially to create that sequence, but I was just saying to Kapasa earlier, I've now learned I use a similar email sequence. I use a similar kind of theme, value, and then promo, value, and then something else, might be another promo or something. But it becomes easier as you start going through the process, and you can do it in twice the time. And I guess that's where you then start your real customer engagement and relationship with your customer. And you might then want to put them onto a weekly, fortnightly, monthly newsletter after that. And then from a customer's perspective, you should be then in each of your emails still continuing to talk to their pain points. And this is where, if you've defined your ideal customer right at the start, most of your customers should have the same pain points. So when you're going through your nurturing sequence and you're offering value, tips and offers, you're talking to everyone on your list pretty much. Does that make sense? I hope. Okay, so yeah, it's all about the emotional connection. And then I think what I'll do next is I'll go with this page, and then I'll share some of my pages. So this is just an example of a promotion I've done quite recently on how to create your business brand. So down the left hand side are just a sample of some of the social media posts that I've done. And what I try and do is to kind of post consistently every day for 2 weeks on a particular theme. So a couple of weeks ago, it was on how to create your business brand. And then, as you can see, I've got a little pink and grey theme going on, because I generally target women. I do coach and support all genders, but my main target market is women, so which is why I've got a bit of a pink theme going on. And I tend to have pictures of people within business settings. I'll have some quotes that talk to what my topic is about. And then I'll have a free promotion. So on this one, I have a free download, 10 steps to create your business brand. So that's the way for me to get into someone's email box and put them on that email nurturing sequence. And then an upsell within that email sequence, but I also do it as a promotional post, is at the bottom here, I've got a 10-day challenge to create your business brand. So this is like I think it's a 23-page workbook, and there's a picture of the workbook on here, which is, and again, see, this is talking to their fear, their pain points. Overcome the fear, get clear in your brand identity, and put your authentic self out there. And it's really hand-holding them through the process. So when they click on in the post, there will be a link. There will be a link in the post, and they will just click onto my landing page, and I'll show you what that landing page looks like, where they can then find out more. The other thing I then do is I'll have a website pop-up, which I'll alternate depending on what the theme is. My website pop-up doesn't need changing at the moment, but at the minute it's on this one, which is as soon as anyone lands, they get this pop-up which says, hey, get your free download, 10 steps to create your business brand. And then next week it'll be 30 strategies to grow your email list. And then on different pages of my website, I'll have different pop-ups with different themes and freebies. So I tend to lead with a freebie on my website, because some people like to have sales, and I don't think there's a right or wrong, but I like to try and lead with something free, so I'm adding value to start with. And then I follow this up with a number of articles or blogs. So LinkedIn is great because you can create articles really easily, and some of these are less than 600 words. And all I've really done, it's a bit of a cheeks way of doing it, I've just repurposed my posts and put them into an article. Because I think there's a stat that says that you've got to show yourself 7 times to a customer before they'll buy from you. So a lot of this is just copy and paste and making it a little bit prettier and putting in some different pictures. So for example, with this one, I've created the 4 branding myths that are holding you back in business. That's the same as as one of my email sequences. So it's just the email, but I put it into a blog. And then I've got a developing your personal brand identity at work. Again, that's part of my email sequence, put it into an article. So it's quite easy when you know how, and I say that quite lightly, but it is easy if you create an email sequence, you can just repurpose all of your content. And before we go on to email nurturing sequence, shall I just share my page actually?
Yeah, absolutely.
If I just share my landing page, share screen, yeah, that would help, wouldn't it? Is that okay?
Are you able to share it?
Okay, so can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
So with the business brand, with a 10-day challenge, this is a landing page you come up to, and it always kind of starts in a similar vein, which is, are you struggling with something? Are you afraid? Do you worry? Do you want to overcome the fear? Because I think anyone, whether in business, everyone's got a fear about something or some kind of limiting belief. So that's how I always tend to start. All of my landing pages are very, very similar. And then when I create a new landing page, I just clone the page and I just change the words around. Again, makes it a lot easier. This used to take me a day to do. Now it takes me about 15 minutes, 30 minutes maximum to do. So if you're having all these issues, then this challenge is perfect for you. And then I have a little picture of my workbook that I've created. So I love creating workbooks in Canva because it's free and easy to use. So I just show that, oh, look, they get a 17-page workbook with this one. And I talk about what they will be able to do as a result of signing up to this challenge. So just saying, you know, business is hard, because I want them to acknowledge that. You don't have to be intimidating. It just requires a know-how and someone to handhold you through the process. Learn from someone who's been through the pitfalls and bad advice, so you don't have to. So again, talking to their pain points and then summarising what they will get. So just key things that they'll get, and it's very outcome driven. So they'll have a brand board, they'll have a mood board, they'll have a new logo, and they'll be able to integrate their brand into their business. And then I offer an exclusive bonus. Again, Suzanne's tricks this is that she'll have an exclusive bonus. So I offer with all my challenges a 10-day email support service. And that for me is just a reassurance for someone to say, you know what it's like, we all sign up for courses and we never do it. But this is saying, actually, if you do this, you can have a 10-day free email support from me. And that's because I'm really committed that you can create your brand in 10 days. It's not rocket science. And then again, just somebody might not have been on my website before, they might not know who I am, they may have clicked on a link to a social media post. So it's just saying a little bit about me to add a bit of credibility about my experience. And I've talked here around the fact that I had no branding experience, and now I can do this, and this. And then again, it's just as they go down, I've got an introductory discount. So give them this kind of time limit to say, this is running out, it's only going to be available. And as you can see, you know, it's a really low cost offer. It's only £19 for them to create their business brand. And sometimes I will create videos. This one hasn't got a video challenge to it. I don't think I had a video no, I didn't. On some of my challenges, I'll have a video up front to tell them a little bit more. So for something that costs a little bit more, I generally tend to put a video. For all of my courses, they all come with video content. So they get a discount code. Again, it's just saying you don't need any technical skills and you don't need to spend any additional money on design tools or software programs. Because you know what it's like sometimes you sign up to a course and then you've got to buy this and that to kind of get through it. So it's just giving them that reassurance. There's a click to buy button, and then I've got some testimonials from people who have not been through this challenge, but who have been through other challenges or who've been through some coaching with me. Yeah, so that's my landing page. And
can I just very quickly just say, especially for people on the call today as well, can see how many different aspects Pam has covered here. You know, really a lot of, it's simplified, it looks simple, but Pam has to put a huge amount of information, look at the great workbooks as well, and how that's just formula. So really looks fantastic. Thank you, Pam. Really good.
Okay, and then I will finish off by going on to that last slide, which is on the email nurturing sequence. If we can just bring that one up.
Yep.
So I think the email nurturing sequence is really where you will find that you can offer the most value. And I've got some stats that I will share with you as well in a second. But basically, I've got a kind of a 5-stage process, and I don't try and sell anything until day 20, which is quite late in the process, but it's just the way I choose to promote and sell something. I've got options within my landing pages to sell something on the day they sign up. At the minute, I haven't incorporated it because I haven't worked out on my system how to do it, but that's something that I'm looking at. So like I said, I start off on day 8. So it's usually 7 days after they've consumed my service or product in some way, shape or form. I'll just do a, hey, you know, checking in, how you're doing with the challenge or the freebie, you know, and then giving them some top tips on why they should get started and why, suggesting some positive habits about learning, just kind of, you know, a nice email. And then saying, look, if you finish the challenge, if you finish the checklist, if you've read it and it was helpful, here's a link to my Facebook page. I'd love it if you could leave a review, or email me and give me some feedback if there's anything you didn't like. I'm always wanting to create new and improved content for my audience. Then day 12, so 4 days later, provide something else. I'm a big fan of 8 steps to do something, 10 steps to do something, because I just think it makes it sound like it's a little bit easier to do than not saying how many steps there are to do something. Again, I might offer some supportive help. So if they're on a 10-day challenge and I've offered that email support at the start, I'll say your 10-day challenge start or your 14-day challenge start is running out, and if you want some help, get on with it. And that's really to try and prompt them to make sure that they're using that workbook or they're taking the action. Because again, we've all probably consumed or bought services and we've just, they've just sat in the email box for forever and we just leave them. I know you and Suzanne and I have definitely done that. And then the third email is about me. So I share a little bit about my failures. I think one of the key things is it's about talking to those pain points and letting people know that you understand their pain points because you've been through them, and sharing them and being kind of open and transparent. I mean, you don't want to spill your life story out there and tell them all of your woes, but it's just about sharing the pain points that you had and what you did to get through them. And then if it's applicable, to offer some more help. And then on my day 20 is about a member offer. So as an Empower Me Coaching member, you get a 30% discount off any product or service. And this is where I try and promote the next thing within the sales funnel. So for the branding one, for example, it was the 10-day, for the freebie, it was then the 10-day challenge. And then for some of my services, I will offer a mini coaching session to say, hey, look, have you done this? If not, do you want to jump on a quick Zoom call, £50 for a 30-minute session, you've got a 33% discount. And then if they have finished it, again, remind them to leave a review on your social media or by email. And then the final stage is about offering value again. So leaving them on a high, not that you're trying to sell them something. And I usually do a dispelling the myths about branding or dispelling the myths about having an email list, and just kind of reinforcing kind of positive habits and topics. And then that person's then on my monthly email newsletter, and then ad hoc sales promotions if I'm doing anything, where I'll give them tips, values, recommended reading and podcasts. And I think for me, one of the key things that I've learned is with email sequencing, again, taught from Suzanne, but it's so much more effective at acquiring customers. I mean, one of the stats I've learned is that emails 40 times more effective at acquiring customers than Facebook or Twitter. 66% of online consumers will make a purchase as a result of email. And companies who send automated emails are 133% more likely to send relevant messages that correspond with a customer's purchase life cycle. So there's loads and loads of stats out there that tell you that people prefer promotional content through email rather than social media. And if you think about social media anyway, you get lost on a news feed. Your promotion will easily get lost. Whereas if you've got somebody in your email box, you can sell them, share with them tips, anything you want, whenever you want, and they will always see it, assuming they open your email, of course. So I guess that's where I've kind of come along in my journey, and some of the tools that I use. And I guess, I can attribute most of my learning, if not all of it, to Suzanne and the DiscoverChange team, who have really kind of helped me along my journey and really taught me the value in having a sales journey, a sales funnel, having a nurturing email sequence that really talks to your clients' pain points. I think that was everything I had to share. Sorry if I've overrun, Suzanne.
No, that's absolutely fine. Thank you so much. And we've had a couple of just people I was just left a couple of minutes ago, but they said very much thank you and absolutely loved what you've shared, and also took a lot of screenshots as well of what you've provided. So what we'll definitely do is share this in the Facebook group as well, so that everybody will have more access to this information. You've got some great freebies that we'll share there as well. So everyone can access those as well after today. That was absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Pam. And what you've shown is that there was a bit of a struggle first. You know that you're offering great value, but actually just through tweaking the language and changing the process and really focusing on providing that great value and tips and information. And, you know, that's how you've converted these customers into obviously buying more, buying something in the first place.